Start with Langston and Andrew.
All right, Coach, you talked earlier this week about the importance of opponents having to prepare for 4 different pitchers. Only used one, Jordan Weber, today. How big is that in setting you up for the rest of the weekend and the matchup against Florida? And then what did you see from Weber today that really kind of impressed you to go all 7 innings?
Yeah, Weber, she threw outstanding. The biggest thing from the very beginning is they weren't on time. They were so out in front, and she was spinning the ball like crazy. And I was just going to stay with her until they made adjustments and got on time. And throughout the entire game, they really struggled to be able to square up the ball. Really impressed in how she threw, and it just really sets up our pitching that we didn't have to go into our bullpen, even though we had all 3 ready to go. I had Schumacher and Krings. They were ready to go in the beginning of the game, just in case Jordan got into a little bit of trouble. And I had Emma ready to go in that 7th inning. But great that we didn't have to throw anybody, so everybody's going to be fresh for tomorrow.
Coach, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but just the sense I got from talking to the players is they're extremely locked in right now. Would you say this is the most locked in they've been all season? Just business like nothing's phasing them. You know,
it's so true. I think what helps is that we've played everyone moving forward and we've beaten everybody. There's very few teams that we haven't played. So they've had success against our opponents. They've had success against Florida. They know what they need to do. So they feel really good moving forward and being able to take on Florida tomorrow and continue to go through this tournament. I mean, I've hearing them at breakfast and they have very high expectations, which is so awesome that they're talking about it. Because when we first got here and, last year and 2 years ago, it wasn't in their conversations. They didn't talk about winning in the SEC tournament. It wasn't a reality, and now it's a reality for these girls.
Colin and Ben.
Yeah, Coach, that 2nd inning was a little bit rough for Jordan. There's, I think, 2 1-out walks. But what did it take to get her back on track? And those 1, 2, 3 innings, the next 2 innings, it didn't seem like it took much from her.
The big thing is she wasn't sure what the strike zone was. She was nibbling a little bit too much, and we faced 2 teams. I mean, Tennessee was so aggressive, and we could pretty much throw anything, and they were swinging at it and trying to figure out what the strike zone was. So when I went out to the mound, it literally was, you have great stuff, just keep nibbling away. We're going to get those calls. Just bring it back on the plate a little bit more. And because I knew it wasn't timing, it wasn't that she was out of time and missing, it was that she was trying to get them to chase the borderline pitches, and the umpire wasn't given to us. And even in that 6th inning, she got into a little trouble when we finally gave up a hit. And then she gave up the triple down the right field line. And I immediately turned to my staff, and I didn't want to pull her. I did not want to have to go to our bullpen because she still had good stuff, and they really weren't on time. And I felt like we should have made that play in right field. So it was just great to see that she was able to rebound from that situation and being able to get us out of that.
Larissa, can you put into words what it has felt like today to be in the postseason in the SEC tournament a year after none of this happened, and there's just been so much hunger for over a year to be back in this spot? I know it's not NCAA's yet, but that's got to be amazing.
It's postseason. I mean, I'm so unbelievably proud and really honored to be their coach, but mostly proud in their effort that they're giving, how they're so focused and they're on a mission. They really are on a mission. And it started from day one in practice and really focusing on winning championships and making part of our culture, making part of our language. And they're going out there and they're competing. At the end of the day, we have absolutely no control over the result, but they are so fun to watch and so fun to coach because the energy and the passion that they have for playing the game.
Colin and Andrew.
Yeah, Larissa, that series here against LSU a month ago, a lot of the struggles, especially in that doubleheader on Sunday, was getting Leah Andrews out. How do you feel like you guys set the tone for what you wanted to do today by having her, bunt, pop out, foul out, strike out?
I mean, that first at bat really set the tone. I mean, that was huge. And it was almost like, I don't know this for sure, but it looked like LSU prepared for another pitcher. It's like they prepared for Krings because they were on time for 67, 68. They were not on time for 61. And when you see the first 3 batters through the lineup be as early as they are, and to pop up a bunt for someone that's their repertoire, it really just set the tone, which really sets up Jordan. and especially be able to get back into the dugout as fast as possible that we were able to do. But it's huge keeping her off balance. She is such a threat. She's a threat on the bases. She's obviously a threat in the batter's box. So it was absolutely huge to keep her off base and really start the game with one out.
Coach, you kind of got your redemption against LSU today, and then you get your chance at redemption with Florida tomorrow. How much are you looking forward to that? And do you think that maybe brings a little bit more energy out of your team that it is Florida, especially what happened last time?
I think so. It's not going to be, excuse me, it's not going to be something that I'm going to address. It's really going to be focusing on what we need to do, but I know the girls are going to feel it. They absolutely, because they had an opportunity to win all 3 games and we let 2 of them slip away. So they're excited. They are so excited to prove to the SEC and the rest of the country that they deserve to be in that championship game. And I don't have to do any motivating. I mean, they're motivating themselves. They're so motivated for this opportunity. And I know they're going to come out with unbelievable energy and enthusiasm and discipline.
Ben and Colin.
Coach, Shomo, how does she keep doing this?
It is because she is just so fearless. She absolutely, that ball goes up and she is on a mission that she's going to catch that ball. She runs free. She doesn't care if she's going to crash into a fence. She doesn't care if she has to lay out. It's just because she is just so fearless when she plays ball. And she hits that way too. Like she'll swing as hard as she possibly can every single time. But it's ridiculous, some of those catches that she's making. I mean, she's saving the game single-handedly. She's taking away base hits from people.
Coach, is this a young team, and a lot of the roster in this team has not played in the postseason. So for Brooke, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, and for Kayla, that solo homer to come through like they did today, lead by example. Just what does that do for this team?
It does. I mean, it shows you that the upperclassmen are putting the team on their back. But you get a performance like that out of Jordan, who really is a first-year player. And so it's just a good combination of it, where the upperclassmen are really coming through offensively and, helping out the freshmen along the way. I will say that in talking with our freshman pitchers last night and going over scouting reports and the opposing hitters, they had made a comment and said, it feels kind of weird that we don't have anyone to turn to. We don't have anyone to ask, what is it like in the postseason? What are we going to expect? So this morning we set up a Zoom FaceTime call with Maddie Norman, and Maddie talked with all 4 pitchers and gave them advice and, offered some guidance and gave them some of that leadership that they need within the program. So you don't have the leadership in the bullpen right now from a teammate, but you have it with your alumni. And Maddie really provided them a great opportunity and that comfort of, you can do this, you're prepared for this. This is what you're born to do.
Any more questions for Coach? All right.
Thanks. See you guys tomorrow.